InspyraTales. Leon Vane had written death into art. His bestseller novels were known for unforgettable characters and tragic, beautiful endings. Each protagonist died epically, gloriously. Leon, meanwhile, lived quietly, alone. Most of his life passed before the glow of a laptop. He didn't live much, though his characters did. And for a while, that was enough. One morning, as usual, Leon sat down with his coffee steaming, fingers poised. But nothing came. Not a word. A strange emptiness overtook him. Every thought dissolved before it could form. Strange, he thought. That day passed in silence, then the next. The cursor blinked like a slow, dying heartbeat. Desperate, he tried something new. He wrote about himself in short episodes, his thoughts, his days. He called it The Writer Who Couldn't Write. But the more he wrote, the more hollow it felt. Just a man doing nothing. He deleted the file. The next morning, out of habit, he checked Amazon and froze. There it was. The Writer Who Couldn't Write, Episode 1. Author Leon Vane. He blinked. Had he sent it? No. Uploaded it? No. He called his editor, no idea. And yet, it had hundreds of reviews. Not his usual style, but I need the next episode. Disoriented, Leon wandered the streets, thoughts drifting like smoke. He felt like being in the Twilight Zone. Maybe someone was playing a sick joke. The next day, Episode 2 appeared, The Twilight Zone. The first lines read, he was shocked, seeing what he had deleted now published. It was like the Twilight Zone. His thoughts, word for word. Every day, a new episode dropped. Each one echoed his exact actions, his private thoughts, feelings, his mind being stolen. So, he stopped. No thoughts, no actions. For days, Leon spiraled in silence, terrified of waking to another chapter of his meaningless existence. The next release, Episode 4. No life, no story to tell. Reviews dropped. 1 star? Nothing happens. A writer who doesn't know how to live. His characters are flesh and blood, but he is a zombie. He read it again, and then it hit him. He wasn't the writer anymore. He was the protagonist, but not a compelling one. A hollow shell. A man who lived through his characters, too afraid to live for himself. That night, he dreamt. His most fearless character stood before him, bloody, broken, alive. You were never brave, but I created you. You hid behind me. Coward! He woke up drenched in sweat, heart pounding, almost crying, staring into the dark. No more pages, no more fiction. He decided to delve into life, maybe for the first time. So be it, he whispered. Let's make this one a bestseller. He broke every pattern. No coffee, no laptop, no email. He walked out with no wallet, no plan. He entered a jazz bar he'd passed for years, ordered the most expensive whiskey, watched a woman in red dance like she was the music. When a drunk man grabbed her, Leon punched him. A fight broke out. That night, she walked him home, in the rain. The next book appeared, The Night He Took a Punch, his first step into life. It even quoted her, "You should smile more, even with a black eye. My hero." The next morning, he got a tattoo. "What do you want?" the artist asked. Leon answered, "A sentence I wouldn't dare to write." The ink read, "I'm a fucking hero." He boarded a train with no destination. On board, Leon met a young man headed to a job interview, clutching a bland cover letter. "You need a story," Leon said. "Don't list credentials. Tell them what drives you, what you're fighting for." The young man's eyes lit up. As the train slowed, Leon thought, next stop's a good place to get lost. In a quiet street, he found an old man collapsed on the pavement, his wife struggling to lift him. Leon helped them up, and arm in arm, walked them to the wedding they refused to miss. There, he was the uninvited guest who drank, danced, forgot forgot his name, and kissed the bride. That night, locked out without his keys, Leon curled up on a park bench, only to meet a group of homeless men with broken shopping carts. They were heading to the back of the market to collect discarded food before it was trashed. Leon joined them, hauling crates in silence, then spent the night under a bridge, trading stories for warmth. For the first time, he felt useful and, strangely, at home. Until the sirens came. The episodes came one after another, the runaway train that leads back home. Sometimes, home is where the homeless are. Each one not written, but lived. And for the first time, his life was telling him the story. After getting out of detention, he joined a spontaneous street protest, not even knowing the cause. Soon he found out it was for a baby who died nameless in a refugee camp, erased by bureaucracy. He found himself at the front line, shouting for a life the world refused to name just before the police took everyone in. But he had no regret, and he proudly bared his chest in the camera flash, grimy, defiant, alive, feeling for once like a hero, spending the night in detention. Twice. He fell in love, also twice, that same day. Once with a street cellist. Her music blurred the world. He sat and watched all day, daydreaming. She handed him the tip box. He had no wallet, but still got her number. As he walked out of the park, still smiling, her card in his hand, then pulled out his phone. "I just found someone you need to hear," he told his friend, a music producer. She plays the cello like she's dreaming out loud. Then, with an ancient plane tree in the quiet corner of the park he'd never visited before, it towered above him, still, patient. As Leon stood beneath it, awed, he noticed a small plaque buried in mud, unreadable. He knelt and wiped it clean with his hands, revealing its name, age, and forgotten story. Suddenly, he wept. Not knowing why, only that something inside him had cracked open. Maybe it was the humble loneliness of the tree, standing tall for 100 years, unnoticed, yet aware of its own silent majesty. Maybe this was what being a hero truly meant, standing tall, even when no one sees it. Each time, a new episode followed, each one more alive, more luminous. Because now, finally, he was living like his characters. He wasn't writing life. He was the story. But then, one night, the reviews shifted. "He's a master of tragic endings. How will this story end?" "Well, he has to die. LOL. He stared at the screen, silent, still. All his stories ended in tragedy. They were beautiful because of it, because he believed in endings that meant something. That night, the dream returned, but this time it was a nightmare. His characters stood before him, one by one. "You killed us all. We died like heroes. Now it's your turn. Die like one." He jolted awake, soaked in sweat, barely breathing. He stumbled to the sink. He splashed cold water on his face, looked in the mirror, and for the first time, saw it. The fear, the fiction, the truth. You think you lived like your characters? Do you have the courage to die like one? I'll give you an ending you'll never forget. Leon stood at the cliff, the edge of death, the one he'd written about, dreamt about, seen in nightmares. Arms wide, wind screaming, salt on his lips, ready to leap. He closed his eyes, prepared to surrender to the abyss. In a usual book signing Sunday at the local bookstore, a young woman grabbed the newly released novel 1,000 Heroes by Leon Vane. She read the back cover, then flipped through the pages. You don't need to live epically or jump off a cliff to be a hero. You can rise 1,000 times in one lifetime. Each time you choose to live fully, love deeply, and dare again. Sometimes being a hero means simply showing up and spreading quiet miracles. The hero's journey never ends. It only evolves. Without hesitation, she took the book and got into the line to get her book signed. At the end of the line, there sat the writer, famous for his tragic endings, Leon Vane, pen in hand. At peace, he'd been to the edge and chose life. Very much alive. As Leon looked up to see his next reader, a smile appeared on his face. It was the cellist. He lost himself listening for hours. The cellist gave him the book. Actually, I have already read it, twice. This is your best ending yet. A real hero who dares to live. Leon thanked the young woman, a mischievous grin tugging at his lips. He was, after all, a man of spontaneity now. He signed the book and handed it back. As she read the note, he watched her reaction, just a little nervous. To the magical cellist who cast a spell on the writer, until we meet again. Maybe after this signing, over coffee? She looked up, a spark in her eyes, holding the book to her chest. As long as there's no heroic ending, Leon grinned. How about a beginning instead? She turned, smiling over her shoulder. You know where to find me. And just like that, she disappeared into the crowd. Leon watched her go, warmth rising in his chest. He wasn't chasing an ending anymore. No script, no final line, just the next page turning.